name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot. Now this is a general reading for your star sign, for Sun, Moon or Rising. As it's detailed in the title, it's a bulk introduction for all 12. So as ever, there will be a time signature down below, so you can skip ahead to the reading because you really want to watch 3 of them if you can. Sun sign, obviously. And moon sign is highly relevant, especially with this being a lunar eclipse. And your rising sign was the most important sign in ancient astrology, so that's one to go for as well. If you're not familiar with what your moon and rising sign is, there is a link in the chart below. I'm not going to spend too much on the astrology of this lunar eclipse, apart from it's 2020. It's big, because of course it is. It's 2020. And I've also done a video with astrologer David Fisher, which you should find a link to that down below as well. As for other housekeeping about links down below, there's also a link to the Facebook page for this channel where you can contact me directly if you're wanting me for a personal reading. Plus I post all of these videos and I post all the astrology videos that I'm watching, the weather report style readings. So general reading rules apply. You know, this time is hardly absolute. With a lunar eclipse, they say it can last up to 3 months, sometimes a month before and 2 months afterwards. With a solar eclipse, which of course we're having in 2 weeks, then that can be more of a 6-month cycle. So, you know, take that under advisement as you're listening to the reading. It's a full moon gods at play reading, obviously, because that's what I do for the full moon. So by their very nature, they are dramatic. That's the whole design of the reading. I'll discuss that more when I bring the cards up. But first, I just want to spend a moment looking at the symbols of the degrees where this full moon is taking place. So it's occurring at 9:29 a.m. GMT. So amend that time for your time difference from GMT, for your time zone, sorry, I should say. At 8 degrees 37 minutes of Gemini. So in terms of the symbol, that is the 9th degree of Gemini. So if we look at the inside degrees, for the actual moon itself, we have wildflowers growing around the ruins of a temple. Now the interpretation of this is really nice. Catching a second wind, taking a booster rocket from one cycle to another, one lifetime to another, or one whole stage in evolution to another. Now that sounds great, phenomenal. And we could certainly use that with everything that's been going on. So, shot out of a cannon to discover the next great thing. You are wildly attentive to signs and portents, looking for a way to the future. Well, you're watching this, aren't you? So, coming out of immense soul experience with flying colours leaping forth into the new. Enthusiastic, naive and impressionable, eager for 1,000 universes to come true. Now, there's a really interesting point. We have Neptune stationing during this full moon. So at the same time, it is squaring the nodes. So the power of the future is causing a tension with your dreams. So you may be forced closer towards the truth, you know, an objective truth, whatever that is, or even further into your dreams, where really you want to try to balance reality in your dreams. The whole idea of a square is that you find a creative solution using both aspects of that, both ends, like using Neptune and the North Node, using how you're setting your future with your dreams. Anyway, to continue the symbol, enthusiastic, naive and impressionable. I already said that, didn't I? You feel the ultimate springtime quality of fresh immediacy and wind-blown alacrity, just sensing all through body and soul, the possibilities, the openings, what wants to happen next. A destiny bearer, universal in spirit and in the right place at the right time for the remarkable synchronicities and huge turnarounds. That offers a lot of hope. But then again, it could, with it being the eclipse, this is the That's the image of the degree that is being obscured, where the moon is going into this degree and then all light from the moon disappears. So that's the ideal use of this degree. But there's a double edge to that, that unless you're really making the effort, you won't get to use the power of that degree, because the moon obviously is eclipsed. But the good news is it's only a partial eclipse, so you do still get some light from the moon, so you do still get some of the energy from this degree. But what was interesting is the opposing degree, 8 degrees Sagittarius. I'll come back when I can learn to speak. Where the sun is shining and is casting its light, the light that is partially obscured by the shadow of the earth when it hits the moon. So we have, for inside degrees, a man with green skin. He is dressed with leaves. Playful, exuberant, spontaneous and elusive, you are restless under constraint, with all of civilization representing constraint. You're desperate to be free. When not held down, you have spectacular abilities and affinities, but when bound by time, you become abrasive and provoking. Temperamental in extreme ways, aching for free movement in a vast territory, drawn to every extreme that exists. Here we see again that power of Neptune being stationary. It actually turns stationary on the, well, becomes stationary, I should say, on the day of the full moon. The body and soul of one who can never be identified, tamed or narrowed. You are the one who knows how deep the earth is, surging with volatile currents, and these bear all hope and promise if they are followed with open arms. The one who shows everybody what life is like when it lets itself go and contagiously ripples, with permission and encouragement for each and all to come out and play and explore the far edges, and even perhaps over those edges into the greater wilderness, claiming the allegiance of those whose wildness is no passing whim, but the only viable way. So again, we've got that double edge. We've got that power of Neptune going on. Are you going to dive deeper into your echo chamber? Are you going to dream a better future? Are you going to be able to look at reality and make those dreams into reality and not just think that you're in those dreams? You know, there's all sorts of different levels here. This is very much a decision time. It's a preparatory time. We are coming up to the Great Conjunction, which, as I saw in one video going, well, it's only every 20 years, but it's part of a far larger cycle. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is the first time it's occurring in an air sign, and now for the next 200 years or so, it will be occurring in air signs. So we've got what's called a mutation, a great shift into air, a great shift into being more intellectual, more informed, and possibly a little less emotional, for good or for ill. You know, there's no one's going to say that there is anything wrong with emotions. They have their place. They are vital to how we function. But in the meantime, this is a house clearing time to sort out, hang on a minute, what am I wanting to achieve here, and what do I no longer need to achieve it? And that's definitely an empowered negative statement. What do I need to dispose of in order to achieve what I'm wanting to achieve? Now, this degree is ruled by, if I remember correctly, it's ruled by Rochelle, who is an angel all about restitution and finding lost objects. So again, there's the lost objects, not as the things that you're getting rid of, but the things that you are making space for. Now, opposing this, Yehuya, who I did not actually just draw the meaning up for. Let's see, Yehuya, where we got? So, Yehuya, now here's a good one. Revealing the dark side or subordination to higher order. Now, again, there's two ways. Considering we had that image all about rebellion and trying to find freedom, there's two ways you can see that higher order. Are we talking about a mundane higher order, a higher order that is existing here on the planet, or are we talking more to a more esoteric, spiritual submission to the higher order of the divine? And again, that choice is slowly being presented to us by each individual piece being brought up to our attention, each individual piece of our dreams, piece of our belief systems, piece of our day-to-day life, day-to-day practice being brought up to go, you know, do I really need this? And either answer is okay, but you have to ask the question. So either answer is like, no, I don't need this anymore. Its time has passed. That's fine. Or yes, this is essential for what I want to accomplish. This is essential for me being whom I want to be. And it will enable us to love our own process more, if that makes sense. And the reason I say that is ruling the decan that this eclipse is occurring in on the moon side is the goetic spirit Ammon. Certainly in the day it is Ammon, and at night it is Sabnok. So here for the northern hemisphere, well, if it's daytime and Ammon is ruling it wherever it is, and if it's nighttime it's Sabnok. So looking at Ammon is a goetic spirit who can be very much about love. Can be used or can be appealed to in love magic that gives aid in divination. So Ammon's energies can certainly help us try and see the future with a little bit more clarity. And this is interesting. Ammon gives aid in divination and helps the sorcerer get in touch with her true will. So it's not just my vision for the future, my dream for the future under all that Neptunian influence. It's going, hang on a minute, this dream I've got of the future, is this what I really want? Is it one of these, I think someone called them on a video I was watching recently, false beliefs? You know, because you get brought up to be told that you need to be a doctor or a lawyer, and if you're not those, then you're not good enough. Or that everybody needs the house and 2.5 kids and the car. Or, you know, all of these beliefs that are what society or family or whoever or the TV tells you that you want, when actually is, no, I want to ride on horseback on a ranch in the middle of nowhere. I want to spend my life hosting a YouTube channel. I want to spend my life living in the forest and caring for the forest. Or I really want to get involved in social work, tapestry, you know, knitting, you know, whatever it is that really floats your boat. You have to be able to say, yeah, hang on a minute, that floats your boat. I've been fighting for the past 10 years to save enough money to put a mortgage down on this house, and I don't even want to be a homeowner. I want to be free. I want to do what free people do. You know, there's really diving down to go, okay, I want the house and the car, or I don't want the house and the car. I want happiness. I want success in business. I want success in love. I want to make my friends' lives better, my clients' lives better. I want to paint things. You know, whatever it is that you want, just learning to be honest about what it is that you want and then going for it. Now, Sabnok, what have I got on Sabnok? Not a lot of information. Now, he builds high towers and castles and cities on the astral plane. So he's all about constructing. If you know anything about creative visualization, is often covered nowadays under like law of attraction. You visualize a situation, a condition, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into being, and you visualize it so hard, is that the way to say it, that you are believing yourself in it and you are knowing that it is already real. That is building a castle on the astral plane, which is exactly what Sabnok is doing. So Amon is helping you identify what you want to build, or if the eclipse is happening during nighttime for you, Sabnok is helping you build the vision of it and therefore be calling that into your future. Assuming, of course, you're taking the advantage to, well, to clear out the stuff that you do not need. Now, there was another thing that I wanted to go back to, the 8 degrees Gemini symbols. Yes, the 8 degrees Gemini symbol for the the Omega symbol, a ruby growing in a laboratory, however you say it. So even though fake, but not fake, it's still a ruby. It's beautiful, it's crystalline, and I personally love red. I mean, I wear a lot of garnet. Ruby is actually, I prefer garnet to ruby, but ruby has such a depth and motion to it with that red color, with that red vibration of moving forward with things. But this is not so much about moving forward, this lunar eclipse. This is about preparing to move forward and knowing which way forward is. There's not much more that I want to say. Obviously, if this has been useful for you, like, share and subscribe. I'm sure I'll say that at the end of the reading as well. But also, now you can breathe a sigh of relief and press the timestamp thing, get to the readings. I'll bring the cards up for you. Okay, Scorpio, if you've watched these Gods at Play readings before, then you're well aware that this top row here represents the masks that the archons wear as they try to keep you away from your divine purpose, whether that means communion with God, ascension, evolution, what have you. But basically trying to keep you vibrating in fear and misery, whereas this bottom row are the gods that are aiming to lift you up, to reconnect you with your divine self, however that may manifest for you. Now, one thing I want to point out here is I immediately noticed from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, we got card number 9, Haziel, about divine forgiveness, which is really interesting considering that the other angel card is the Angel of Reconciliation, and that one of the gods on your side is Aries with warmongering. But Haziel is really active during this full moon. Haziel rules the degrees where both the North Node and Jupiter sit. So with Venus in your sign as well this full moon, there's a lot going on for you. So you obviously have some form of pivotal role going on for Haziel to come out in your reading. For the North Node, we're looking to the future. For Jupiter, we're looking at expanding. Jupiter in Capricorn, expanding within the limits available, but nevertheless expansiveness. And we also have on your side here the goddess Nyx or Nuit with expansiveness. So again, reinforcing that Jupiterian influence on the energies that this lunar eclipse will unleash for you. So, the masks of the archons that are working against you. We have Typhon with anger and rage, Aphrodite with love, Boudica with unity, Fortuna with fate, and Epimetheus with carelessness. That in and of itself tells me a story, or at least the story that is presented to you. This row of the archons is one option that you can follow. This row of the gods is how they are encouraging you to take a different option. Neither of these are what you have to do, or will do, but these are the energetic options being put on the table for you. So what I'm seeing with this top row, the Archon story, is that some revelation, and the reason I'm saying this as well is because this has appeared again and again and again in these new moon readings. Now, we haven't got the act of revelation here, but we have got the anger that revelation unleashes. Typhon with anger and rage, but it's taking your focus away from things that you are supposed to be concentrating on. So Typhon with anger and rage. So some form of revelation that in previous readings it's already pointed out that the revelation is only half the story. So this is what backs up the presence of Epimetheus here with carelessness. It's almost like reacting to half a story and going off half-cocked. Simple as that. Going off without all the facts. And raging against an uncaring world with only half the facts. This is something that this Boudica card has come up again and again in these readings. So there's that sense of a public pressure, a public campaign that everybody is getting on the bandwagon of. And I would avoid those bandwagons even if they seem inevitable, because that inevitability is something, one, you maybe need to protect yourself against. So, you know, if you see the writing on the wall, take the appropriate action to make sure you can get through the effects of that writing on the wall. But be prepared to fight it, and be prepared to fight carelessness. Be prepared to, whenever you have some form of story. Now, bear in mind, this could be a societal thing. This could be a personal thing. Be prepared, and I suppose it would be affected by whichever house the lunar eclipse is occurring in for you. To do that, you need to know your birth chart, you need to know your rising sign, and then you count along from that. But you need to be able to fight and protect yourself against carelessness, to be able to go, no, that's not the solution. This mob mentality that's come through reading after reading with Boudica in this position. It's something that will hit home, whatever this revelation is. It's something that will hit closely to home. But Aphrodite, her shadow side is vanity and manipulation. If you think about how she manipulated Hephaestus while having it off with Ares, how she fell prey to Eris, who appeared in the last reading, which would have been Libra, with this apple is for the most beautiful, and Aphrodite went, well, it's obviously me. The only problem with that was so did Hera and so did Athena. So, you know, a fight ensued. There seems to be something that makes you angry, that's impinging on your sense of, or is designed to impinge on your sense of self-worth, sense of identity, sense of being a good, fine, or even hot person. You know, there's because it is Aphrodite, and as I say, we have got Venus in your sign, and Venus in Scorpio. I was listening to an astrology video this morning before I filmed these, and Venus in Scorpio can be a little bit cutting, to put it mildly, you know. So that there's this whole trap being set up, whereas you are being called by the gods here to not lose your focus, not be swept up with this mob mentality and this this anger and rage that whatever it is needs putting right now. But what Epimetheus is telling me with this anger and rage is the basis of this anger has been, how do I phrase that rightly? The basis of the anger isn't, I mean, it may be due to carelessness, but more to the point, whatever has inspired the anger, that inspiration in and of itself was careless, like giving you half the story, not bothering to dig deeper to find out the whys and wherefores. And it just seems like there's, once this ball starts rolling, that you can see where it's going to go, and the world is supposed to just accept that this is where it's going to go. Ooh, 2 major arcana, but I'll get to these in a moment. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case, but if it is, so circumstances outside of you, beyond your control, that's something that you need to work to protect yourself from. And I don't think, the way I'm feeling about this Hecate card, that you have to really work that hard. You know, it's not going to be difficult. The important thing is remembering that during all this, although you need to be prepared to go to war over whatever this is, you need to be going to war against the carelessness. You need to be going to war against the mob mentality with the aim of reconciliation. The angel of reconciliation being the angel energy over the whole reading. Let me be fully reconciled with what I have left behind. So it's also solving things from the past. That's interesting. But Haziel is about divine forgiveness. And ruling North Node, ruling Jupiter, as the moon goes full and is eclipsed, then that message of divine forgiveness is being hammered home. It's an energy there waiting for you to take advantage of it, use it, apply it in your life, apply it in your actions, apply it with building bridges. Because this carelessness, once it gets going, 8 of Wands here, once the ball starts rolling, it's going to be really hard to stop it. Now, Fortuna, she's got the 6 of Wands here. So the whole idea of this is inevitable, it's going to seem like it's winning. So you are going to feel like you're on the losing side. That doesn't matter. I don't think you are on the losing side. But the important thing is not which side is winning or losing, but which side is right and which side is wrong. And normally I'm a lot more healing than declaring something is right and something is wrong. But no, there's a lot of passion here, as there has been in a lot of these full moon readings, to go, no, this is wrong. So by expanding the terms, right, by being creative, because Nyx, night, the creative void, and expanding the terms or the scale of this debate, whatever it is, you are putting an end to a torment. 10 of Swords here is something that is, the way to do that is to focus upon the beauty in the situation that you can see as there are. So literally focus towards the good things and know that this top row, it's a cyclical thing. It's I won't say seasonal, but you know, it comes and it goes and then it comes back again, and hey ho, here we are again. You know, but you need to be willing to fight it. You need to be willing to fight it this time. With that angel of reconciliation, I've suddenly realized that maybe another time when this has occurred, you've shrugged your shoulders and gone along with whatever the prevailing philosophy of the moment was. Now, it will be slow process, but Anything that you are doing to protect yourself and to expand this situation will have a material effect, especially here with the Eight of Pentacles. And bear in mind, I'm saying you need to be prepared to go to war over this. I'm not saying that you need to go to war over this, but you need to hold your position. And your position here with divine forgiveness, the angel of reconciliation, is about building bridges, is about expanding the situation to put something to an end. Because everybody will be really, they can easily be transformed by whatever this mob mentality is. And the Magician card, again, and you saw in my shuffle video how much I shuffle these cards, but this Magician card keeps coming up on the top row, keeps coming up implying trickery, misuse of power. What have we got here? Because I can't see it in this light. Yeah, the anger creates a complete lack of balance. Temperance card. So this is a strong event, a strong tide that is threatening to crash over you with these three: Temperance, Judgment, the Magician, three major arcanas. On the bottom row, all you've got is the moon. And what the moon is... okay. The moon would tell me about cycles, but what I'm thinking is... this too shall pass. It's not an inevitability. It's certainly not an inevitability if you stand and go, no, we're not going this way. We're not doing this. Building bridges, expanding the debate, expanding the effects, whatever expansion means in this situation. Again, whether this is societal or personal, the way to go forward, to take that, the fact that the North Node is being ruled by Haziel at the moment, that the future offers, is for offering forgiveness. And even if you look at the North Node as Rahu, the dragon's head, then there's that consuming, which the North Node consumes, of past nonsense. Consume and get rid. You know, not consuming to become engorged with, because it's Rahu is a severed head. He cannot absorb what he consumes. All he can do is munch it, and then it will pass through him. So you're getting rid of the old stuff. As I say, that it's quite possible that maybe in the past you haven't taken a stand. Now is the ideal time to do it. It will take work. Eight of Pentacles here. It will be slow progress. Knight of Pentacles here. But it will be effective in protecting you from the effects of this. And it is not inevitable. Even if it appears that the opposition, whatever that means in this situation, wins, they haven't won because they're careless. And this too shall pass. Keep your focus. Yeah, that's the best thing that I can say for that, Scorpio. So if that means anything for you, please do comment down below. Like, share and subscribe, obviously. But yeah, it'd be really interesting. That's the only problem with, I think, watching these videos on YouTube, is that you don't come back a month later and go, well, actually, as it happens, you know. But if it means anything to you yet, if you're already in this sort of seeing this swell of anger erupting around you and threatening to pull you under, then yeah, comment down below, let me know. And good luck. But yeah, be prepared to take a stand. And this is quite possibly, because I got what I did there, and with the Angel of Reconciliation, this might be something where you haven't either had or taken the opportunity to make a stand on this before. All right, cheers.